everyone, it's Brian with you from TheGameCommon. We're back playing some more Planet Coaster, continuing with our Forest Hills Park. And I think I mentioned that this episode we were going to do part time-lapse, part actual live building, but, well, that's a lie. This entire episode is going to be time-lapsed. Apologies, I guess, if you wanted not time-lapse. So, essentially, in this episode, we decide that we want to flesh out the witches area just a little bit more, the hidden kind of forest. And so, I kind of had this idea for this open kind of how should I describe it? Kind of this open area for people to wait in, the open air queue. That's probably the best word. And so I was basically trying to find some more wood structures because mostly right now we still kind of want to stick to the wooden stuff over here just because I think it looks best. And so essentially I'm just trying to look for anything that's wooden that kind of fits the theme, and maybe not even fit the theme, but at least, you know, looks good with what we're trying to do here. So I think this definitely worked out pretty well for us. So we ended up just leaving it pretty wide open. I think I added in some other, I'm trying to remember if I added anything else, any other pillars there, which, you know, I mean, it's not the most realistic looking thing, but it looks pretty cool. I think it's a little flat, maybe on the top. We could add some stuff up there, like maybe some plants or something like that. But for the most part, I think it works out fine. So once again, I really kind of just wanted to enclose everything except that one side. And the fact that I even put a little bit of a wall there was a little different than I was going for, but I kind of actually liked how it looks. So then we ended up spending probably about 10 minutes real time trying to figure out how to switch the floors. So essentially what we do here in a second is we end up trying to use the wood fence as a floor. Unfortunately for us, every time we tried doing it, we just kind of ran into more and more errors. Just was playing Civ. We ran into more errors. Essentially, we just couldn't get it to look right. So once again, we got the candles, we got the little housing things, because those just kind of fit very, you know, they kind of look a little witchy. And same thing with these kind of things there. They just look like a little bit of a witch. And some of these other items are pretty freaking cool. We do have the expansion pack for the temples, and we kind of use some of it, and it looks pretty cool, some of the stuff. Like, I think these torches are actually from the temple stuff, so I'm kind of excited to use those eventually. And, you know, get a little bit of lighting here and stuff like that, but nothing here really jumped out to me. I don't think we added anything else to this. I don't really like how those floors looked. Did I end up adding that fence? No, we thought about that fence, and then here, yeah, it was at this point I was like, yeah, we can put these on the ground, but for whatever reason, I just couldn't select them for the life of me. Like, they just weren't connecting to the building. And then I got one going here, but you can see it was a little off, so I was like, all right, I got to select all these and then get them to move, but for whatever reason, they just weren't working right. So I think the only way maybe for us to have done that is maybe to build it off the queue and then select. I have no idea. I think maybe just because it's on the queue, it just does not work for us. And so, yeah, we just did it multiple times. And once again, it's just like, I got to select and I can't do it. All right, I guess we're just going to leave the floors as are. And I don't think there's actually any, I don't think there's anything we could actually do to make it look a little more realistic. So, couple things to note. We really want to improve the terrain in this area because just the plain green grass just does not look realistic. In fact, I was watching some videos last night, actually, that were in a forest, and I was like, my gosh, like the amount of leaves and shrubbery and just random crap that's on the ground in a forest is crazy. And like, even if I could add in some like little dirt splotches, it would look so good. So we basically just keep adding in a lot more of just these branches everywhere, these kind of like branch bushes. In addition to that, just adding in some rocks here or there. I like adding in the rocks kind of in these pits, you know, because it makes sense. I also, and I think I did a little bit off camera, we ended up making another like water pit in some area just to like make it look just a little more varied in the terrain, you know. And that's why we probably have this area maybe about 80% done after this episode, although most likely we're going to end up calling it quits now and move on to something else after this episode, just because I don't want to spend like 16 episodes in this one area. And once again, like, it just doesn't look all that good, you know, just those giant holes. So I end up just putting some grass there, but like, we just need crap through all of that. Like, the forest should be pretty much non-stop everything. In addition to that, we just, you know, really just need to just add as much shrubbery and stuff like that. Like, if I could just duplicate the shrubbery, and maybe I can just copy and paste the shrubbery, like get like 10 shrubbery in a line and then just copy paste it, because like that just doesn't look all that good with the grass there. Like, it looks a little plain, you know. If I could make the grass a different color, you know, like I said, if I could give it like a leaf feel, that would look really, really good. But since I can't do that, we're kind of stuck. So we decided to add a couple more buildings over here just to, you know, because it kind of took this turn and you just saw a big wide open source of green. So I basically just wanted to block it. I thought about copying and pasting the witch's hut, but I didn't really want to put too many of those same witch's hut. We did add a couple more in. But here, I just wanted to do something a little bit different, so I decided to do some building. I'm very much a proponent of not making square boxes as your houses, because they just don't look, you know, necessarily the best, so... The only downside with this house is we couldn't really use the same kind of roofing that we used with the witches, so it looks a little bit different, but we did add enough other things in that I think it does work, and I think it does look pretty good. We ended up duplicating this building to put it in the back, just, you know, so it looks like there's a couple more houses here, but I think the windows and the doors and stuff like that really kind of make it more than anything. So once again, just trying to duplicate the windows. I actually like how the house is built into the hill. Looks very realistic, you know, because a lot of times you see houses built like this, especially in super hilly areas. I really didn't want to use the same kind of overhang, but yeah, whatever. And we added a chimney here, so I guess maybe in our lore, this is maybe like the village, which is, you know, just off the witch's hut, and maybe these are the people that the witches prey on. I don't know. We got to figure out our lore. Maybe I'll look to you guys for the actual lore here. And so once again, you know, it doesn't quite look right with the grass here until we add the porch in. Once you add the porch, that's when the game really just, or when things just kind of really jump out. And I actually really like what those torches look like. Once again, just trying to give a different impression when you're kind of flying around that corner. Just, you know, looks really good. I like, maybe this is a witch hut then, now that I say that, because we did have those gargoyles. All right, this is a witch that doesn't want to climb a ladder, all right? And she can't fly. This is like the witch school. That's it. This is the school or the marketplace or something like that. We should put like witches market or something like that outside. So trying to get the flooring here for our this is our deck. So once again, just kind of do something wooden out here. We use the other deck, and this is the one thing that I hated about this. I could not get these guys to match color because they're different. Like we had the painted wood on those flooring, which look really good, by the way. But then I just had the steps are just that white color, which just looks terrible. So I kind of hate the fact that it's like not every piece works with every like if it's a wooden piece, I feel like every wooden piece should be the same by default, you know? I don't know. Or like if you have painted wood versus not painted wood, then they should have the exact same pieces. I think that would make the most sense, but it is what it is. So we add another cauldron there just to say, hey, look, this is a witch area. And you know, then we just move some of the trees around just to make it look a little more filled in. But once again, just all that grass over there, man, we really just want some branches and stuff like that. And then I think we get into adjusting the roller coaster. Yeah. Number one, I wanted to add a little bit more to the roller coaster because I thought it was a little on the short side. And so we ended up taking it over here, and we're going to end up doing a lot of these roller coasters at like super speed, at, you know, the time-lapse speed, but I think at the end we end up riding it one more time, and that time I'll do it just kind of like the regular speed for you guys, just so you can kind of get a view of what that looks like. But yeah, we end up just basically curving around, and remember our whole vision of this is I just wanted this to be like curving in and out of the trees. So ultimately, the ride itself actually has you, oh yeah, never hit auto end when you're that close like that apparently. But a lot of it has you just kind of like traveling through the tree limbs, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, from a realistic standpoint, it would hurt a lot to be going like 26 miles an hour and get whacked in the face with the tree. Are we going to change it? I don't know, because those trees are kind of like what makes this look somewhat cool, you know? Ultimately too, we got to like lower that hill because it just doesn't work. You'll see that as we get around there, it just doesn't quite work all that well. Whee! This is really fast. If you weren't sick before, you're definitely going to be sick after this. Wow! And then we end up going through on a lot of that and start fixing it. And then we're like, we didn't go back. But a lot of those turns and stuff like that, we just start smoothing everything, just the crap out of everything. And for the most part, I'd say the ride is pretty good. Probably about done, maybe probably done here. The excitement, I think, ended up in the 4 range with the nausea, like 0.3, and the intensity, which is the other one, right, being like 1 point something. So, I mean, a decent ride. You got to remember this is a kid ride. So it shouldn't be like 8, 3, and 1 or 8, 3, and 3. Like this should be a kid ride. So it should be very basic. And once again, we got the speed going here. Did we start smoothing any of that? Now, see, all that was still super, super janky. And then a lot of the banking through there was just not great. I think, the other thing we ended up doing, and I think I did that off camera before this episode, we ended up, reducing the amount of trains in a car, because by default I think it was 8, and I think we ended up dropping it down to 4 and doing twice as many cars. And the reason for that is I didn't want as much speed. I wanted it to be more, honestly, I'd kind of really want it maybe 1 car per train, but just because, I don't know, it kind of feels like flying through the wizards. Maybe it should just be you and one other person, and maybe I'll go back and actually change that at some point. But yeah, here we end up just doing a lot of the smoothing, and ultimately, like, we ended up not wanting to change the height, so instead of hitting smooth all on a lot of this, I ended up smoothing just the banking and smoothing the turns, just to make them a little smoother. And here we were basically just checking for the jankiness of it, which we improved 100-fold. Like, it is so much better now through there. And then especially this part right there turns out to be a lot less janky too. And then this ride almost made it. Almost made it the whole way. Almost made it. And so we had to lower it just a little bit. The final kind of turn through here is just a little slow. Like, if you look at the excitement rating, it's actually pretty good until you get to like this last little part and it's like, whatever. Maybe we'll do like some kind of special effects. We could actually build something around it. Like maybe put a building there and then like have a witch fly out. That would be interesting. And then over here, once again, there's just a lot of just open green, and we just wanted to get rid of that as much as possible. So I decided to add another little lake here, and we kind of had this nice little cliff here going, which I kind of liked. And I was like, you know what, let's actually add a fence here, and we can use the fence to conceal some of the green, which isn't 100% true because it's actually a hill behind it, but we do something a little different with it. So it's kind of like, hey, this is kind of like a little fenced area, and it kind of makes sense here in a second with the fence and stuff like that. And so we end up flattening this out as well, and then we add a couple witches' huts here. And we were actually waiting for that train because I wanted to see if it was going to make it. So we had the game on pause, just kind of waiting for it to go. And so yeah, that ended up working well. And you could see the heat map there. It's great until that way end, and then it's just like red because it's just kind of boring. So I actually increased the hill a little bit just to try getting a little bit more excitement out of that last turn, but didn't really do much. And so I was just kind of looking through some of the pre-made objects here. Some of these are pretty cool. I thought heavily about maybe using some of them, but I don't know. I feel like maybe, I mean, other than the witch's hut, which I just can't duplicate because I can't do the house, maybe at some point we'll do something different here. What did we do with the ground? Oh, okay, good. I was going to say, we hopefully did something with the ground there, because that looks just not as good with just the plain ground. So yeah, we ended up adding in all that stuff there, making it look pretty dang good at this point. And oh yeah, and then we end up adding in fire. And I thought about this a while ago, but I wanted to add some fire in to these trees that had the mouths, because, you know, why the heck not? Trees with mouths would be really, really cool. And I don't know, I'm trying to remember when exactly we did, because I'm watching this, I recorded this yesterday, so I actually don't remember what I did and when I did it. So I got to be careful here, because I don't want to actually do the, oh yeah, the eyeballs too. But I don't want to screw this up too much. Sorry. I want to show the actual ride here at normal speed, but we'll see. Did I fix that jankiness? Because that looks a little janky still. I think that's what, oh, I deleted the tree because we wanted to add more dead trees in. And I really need to add a bunch of bushes in here. I think we kind of kept the bushes around the rocks, which, you know, once again, is okay, but there should just be so much more throughout all of this. And then we added these suckers over here, just to kind of make this look a little cooler too. I wanted to use some more vines, but I just didn't really like how any of the vines looked. Straighten out some trees here as best as we can, and then once again, just adding some of these bushes here. And did we change it? Yeah, I tried getting some of the vines, but the jungle vines just, to me, didn't look right. Like, it just didn't really kind of fit what we were going with. So I think we just added some rocks there on the cliff, which I think looks really, really, really cool, especially with the trees over there. And now the funny thing is, you can't really necessarily see over in that area unless you're actually looking, but, you know, whatever. The people will look. Unfortunately, when we're testing the ride, there's no people on the ride, so I can't actually look over there, I don't think. Yeah, just add the coffin. Once again, a lot of the stuff you're seeing right here, like the scorpion and stuff like that, is all from the adventure pack, which I am excited to use. And I think this one's the full speed one, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the game, and we're going to actually go back and do this full speed, because, yeah, I screwed this up. All right, let's try this again from the beginning. So we're still going triple speed here. I always go triple speed up the hills just because it's too slow. But yeah, there's still a little bit more building at the end of this episode. I add in just a couple little fun things, but you can kind of see some of the like grass and stuff like that. And I just still don't like to see the grass, but like that area through there looks really cool. You know, and then kind of that area through there where you don't see as much of the grass and you see more brush, you just kind of feel like you're a little more in a forest, and that's kind of what I was shooting for. So I actually really like this part right here, just kind of this little dip before then it starts going down a little bit slower, and then speeding up, and then yeah, this is a lot less janky than it was before, so much more smooth. So we're definitely getting along. Now, once again, remember, this is not like super fast because, well, I mean, this is a kid's ride. It's a freaking kid's ride. And I mean, would you be freaked out if you're a kid? God, I hate the ground there. Yeah, probably. And once again, I'm pretty sure we just went through a branch and probably killed ourselves. But, you know, whatever. I don't know if we're going to change that or not. I'm sure at some point we'll go back and change it. But yeah, I mean, and then just that little bit there just gives us a little bit more time on the ride. And I don't really mind so much this being slow because it just slows you down, I guess, into the thing. So it's a little less intense. But yeah, that was basically the roller coaster. So, and then lastly, I end up adding in some fire because why isn't more fire fun? And once again, if we're flying through trees, hell, let's fly through fire, right? So anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. I hope you guys are enjoying the series thus far. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see in the series. Let me know any of your guys' ideas because that's always great. And then once again, we go and check out the color, and I also kind of wanted to see how prominent it was from far away. I still hate the fact that, like, I just want 10 times as many trees as there are right now, but there's not really much I can do about it other than just throwing down more and more trees, and that might just take way too long. So yeah, there's our duplicate house, which once again just kind of adds just a little bit more flavor. I wanted to add a third one, but there was no way to do it without interfering with the path. So yep. All right, I'll see you guys later.